Low Targar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another orc mode workout. And you guys saw the random number generator. You guys have seen the spreadsheet. It's up there available. For those of you who watch these vlogs every day, though, please click like. It would be greatly appreciated. You guys know that thousands of you watch these every day, and you guys are running a dislike bot, and it's really disheartening if I see 3,000 or 4,000 views and only 20 likes and then 200 dislikes, because you guys clearly enjoy these. So please click the like button. Won't take any time out of your day. Today we got a conventional deadlift with chains, and this was interesting. People said, hey, what's your conventional like right now? And I'm like, I don't know. But about half of my pulls are conventionals on the random number generator, so we got a 50-50 a getting one. We got a 50-50 any given time, so you know, what the heck, let's do it. Now I was a little worried because I'm like, it's the weekend and it was going to be chains, but I also heard my neighbors up making a bunch of noise already, and it turned out they were being louder than my chains were. These chains were actually really quiet on a deadlift. They're loud on speed work. Maxes, they're not loud at all. Notice that, especially on the rubber floor. But yeah, so we went ahead and ramped up. You guys have seen the slow-mo already of this. Pretty good. I was happy with it. And it's funny because I was worried yesterday about today. My lower back was cramping. Everything was fatigued. Last night I just went into chill zone. I went completely out of work mode. Didn't schedule anything with clients or anything. And I laid down and put a massager on my low back. Did some really, really high rep good mornings. The cramping went away completely. Okay. Popped a melatonin and I slept for 10 hours. I slept for 10 hours. I went to bed really early. I woke up a couple times in the night, though I might have checked some messages and stuff. And felt great this morning. So I'm like, yeah, let's do a deadlift day. Let's do a pull day, right? Let's do it. I feel good. My back feels good. Let's test it and see how it's doing. No cramping. No cramping. It's a little fatigued. I will admit at the end of this workout, my back was fatigued after the good mornings, but it wasn't bad. So, I mean, that's pretty good. We know that I can at least lock. My grip was holding good, because you know there was a little bit of grip last time. A little bit of grip trouble last time. But it held good. I've been doing extra grip work, by the way, and I'm going to keep doing grip work in addition to my chins. I'm using my pinch blocks. But we know I can lock out over 600 and hold it on a conventional now, too, because I held that one. Then I decided to do some shrugs. And yes, I'm doing these without straps. Now, people will notice the way I do my shrugs. What are we doing? I haven't done shrugs in a long, long time because I haven't needed them. But you know what? I've realized I could use some extra trap because I felt some fatigue. Like that felt like back, a little bit of upper back, a little bit of mid-back fatigue on that. I didn't feel limited at all by my hamstrings. Now, we know my hamstrings and stuff are a weak link on my sumo deadlift, so we're going to keep training them. But what's the name of the game? Whatever our weak links are, we train them for hypertrophy. That's how this system works. We max on a bunch of lifts in traditional conjugate manner. Whatever you're weak, whatever muscles you can tell are your weak links on your various maxes, you train the hell out of them. We get thick. For me, that means lots of sets of 10. That's how the system's working. 1s and 10s, guys. And then, I mean, some stuff can go a little higher. But I did shrugs, and yeah, I'm doing them bent over, and I'm not worried about power shrugs. Why? Because we don't care about power shrugs. What's the point? I don't need a big compound for my traps. I'm getting compounds. I'm trying to work my traps. And we want to train a muscle for volume purposes. We want to use the lighter weights, lightest weights we can get away with so that we can recover and get a bunch of volume. Okay, I don't need to do a power shrug. I don't need the extra axial loading. I'm pulling and squatting a lot all the time. I'm getting accommodating resistance. That means heavier lockout sometimes. I don't need the extra axial loading. Just get in and do a shrug. Nice controlled squeeze it. Contract it hard. 275, that's enough. No straps either. Why? I know I need more grip work. If I'm adding extra grip work in, and this exercise will let me train both my traps and my grip, then we might as well get some grip work. And it was actually very fatiguing. I can tell you sets of 10 with 275 for the shrugs was fatiguing after deadlift. My grip was actually getting a little bit tired. It was real grip work. There's no need to go super heavy on shrugs. We're trying to squeeze the trap under a good amount of tension. Now, I'm not saying bodybuilder just get a pump and squeeze. What I'm saying is if you're going fairly controlled and you're actually going full range of motion and not bouncing, that is a lot of tension directly on the muscle. Okay, the muscle is lifting that. You're not cheating it up. I'm bent over so that my entire trap has to work. Not just the upper trap, we want that whole middle trap and everything. We're trying to build the whole trap up with that exercise, in addition to getting a little bit of grip training. So what are we doing today? Well, we know these are the weak links. So good mornings will address the other back weak link. It'll train my T-spine, my erectors, glutes, hamstrings, and I do a real wide stance so that I get good hamstring work. So these two address the current weak links on that deadlift. 5 sets of 10 on both. A lot of volume. That's what we have to do. We have to get thick as peanut butter. You want to get strong at the deadlift, this is how we do it. You want your deadlift to get strong, you need to be strong top to bottom. Traps, erectors, glutes, hamstrings. All of it. And lats, but I get tons of lats by doing chins every day. I do 100 chins every day. Get plenty of lat work. And you know, people who are denying that, look at my back, guys. You don't see me doing any lat work on camera. I'm clearly doing something. But the good mornings address this other part, because you know what, the deadlift, that's what I tell people. You don't have to train the deadlift all the time to get a big deadlift. And that's why I can do random pulls. It doesn't matter. Conventional, sumo, chains, bands, deficits, blocks. I'm just practicing max pulls, get strong at everything, and build everything top to bottom. You will have a very, very strong deadlift if everything between your knee on the back of your leg all the way up to your neck, top of your traps, is developed. If your entire thoracic or lumbar sling is thick and developed, you will have a strong deadlift. Okay, you'll have the potential for it. And just the heavy max work will then build that potential. So that's what I'm doing. Get everything thick, but I'm going to build everything top to bottom. Top to bottom. Traps to hamstrings. Traps to hamstrings, guys. And yeah, today's a lot of assistance work. Ended up being 20 sets of 10. Because I did 5 different exercises. And you know what? It's fine. I'm eating a lot. I'm sleeping a lot. Yes, the training volume is very high. Yes, this is a ton of volume, a ton of work. But I can tolerate it. My lifestyle allows for it. I have the sleep, I have the food. My diet is really on point, and that's what people need to understand. They're saying, oh, I don't think these diet foods are that great. You clearly do not understand sports nutrition. You do not understand sports nutrition if you don't realize how phenomenal things like whole milk are for hydration, muscle protein synthesis. I promise you, most of you, if you aren't consuming that, your diet is not at that level based on the research. Whole milk causes an enormous amount of muscle protein synthesis in every study that's ever looked at athletes. It's actually one of the best hydration post-endurance training ever found. Like nothing that's ever been created by a supplement company has ever actually beat whole milk in muscle hydration studies for endurance athletes, for those who are not aware. Your diet matters. Your diet and your sleep matter. Just like yesterday, I was cramping up and fatigued. Came in today and smashed it. Self-care, a little bit of soft tissue work, extra sleep, appropriate food. Come in and hit it. Come in and hit it. But yeah, it is. This is the way the system is going to work, and this is true to certain aspects of conjugate, true to the ORC mode concept. We get strong and we get thick. So in other words, we train a max, and then we train maximum hypertrophy for every muscle involved with an extra focus on whatever the weakest links are. And the glute bridge. The glute bridge are a little harder. Some of these sets were challenging. I went up on the weight today because I realized I could do it. Now, I'm not used to doing that much other stuff before a glute bridge. I'm not used to deadlifting and doing good mornings first. Shrugs don't matter because they're really not working any of the same muscles. These were tough. But I realized if I'm going to do them, I need to progress. This is getting to a challenging weight. This is now hard. Like these were pretty much limit sets. 5 by 10 with this, and this is 375. I want to get up to 405. I mean, I'd love to get up to 500. Sets of 10 with 500 would be great. I'll have to keep building it. And this will help my deadlift lock out also, by the way. Why? Look at the follow through. Look at the movement. Extremely potent glute exercise. It works the hamstrings and abs also. But we've got tension right there at the follow through on the deadlift. It's going to help me lock. Hamstrings are going to help me pop the sumos out of the bottom. To some extent, any deficit conventional, but I'm not really limited by my hamstrings, I don't feel like, on a conventional. My back So that's why I'm doing the good mornings. We've got to train erectors. We've got to train traps. Need to bring those things up. We just got to get thick, guys. We need to get thick. Obviously lats, but I do tons of lat training every day. But we have to get thick. And we're addressing all these weak points. I mean, these 5 exercises alone will build a deadlift. They will build a deadlift. Shrugs, good mornings, glute bridges, glute ham raises. It's a lot. A lot of deadlift development out of all those. That's a lot of volume, man. 20 sets today of this stuff. And I feel better. I feel better than I thought I would afterwards. That 10 hours of sleep worked wonders. It worked wonders. It helped tremendously. Like, I was able to just come in and kill it and hit this volume today. And I'm probably going to sleep like a baby again tonight, because this is a lot of work, and I still got to do my chins and some abs. You know, got to get it all done. I'll probably sleep really well tonight. But my lower back feels great, and that's the main thing. Again, high rep good mornings. Laying down, what I did last night, I'd lay down and watched a movie, basically, and I just stuck the massager against my back at the spot where it had been cramping and just stuck it there and left it on for like an hour. After doing some really high rep good mornings. The same thing, I got up first thing out of bed this morning and took an empty bar and did like a set of 20 reps. Just a deep stretch. Get all that blood flowing. Did the same thing before I deadlifted, and bam, everything's good. But I do need to be aware of that, and I need to make sure I'm keeping my ab strength on point to keep that from happening again. Glute ham raises, even with body weight today, these were hard, because this is more hamstring work than I usually do beforehand. So these were tough. It took me a bit to get my position right, because that little spot on my shin where I ripped all that skin off is rubbing a little bit, even though it's 95% healed. It has a little tender spot. So finding a spot on the pads that works was a little tough. Eventually found it for the last couple sets, but it was irritating it a bit. But everything's sorted now. And yeah, so this ended up being 5 sets of 10 on these, and I didn't have anything left on the last set. It's one of those where I was pretty much out of steam. I was out of steam. Like, I think last time on this, on my last squat day, I did 12 for the final one, and it just wasn't a big deal. I'm like, oh, I can do 2 more. I didn't have it today. And it's because, again, this is a little bit more hamstring work than I usually do in one day, especially after a deadlift. But we'll get some good hamstring growth out of it, and we got to keep everything growing, because this is how we improve the deadlift. We got to pull heavy and build all the muscles involved. And I think I'm going to probably work this. I may keep alternating squat and deadlift days on this, so we'll do a press every upper body day, and then the lower body day I'll probably alternate them in traditional west side manner, even though I'm doing them daily. And obviously I'll have days off coming up here soon, but it won't be hopefully for a bit, because again, I'll manage sleep, manage fatigue, manage stress, and make it work, you know, and just keep getting stronger, get better. But a lot of people are asking, you know, how are you getting away with this? And you guys have to remember, I spent months and months building work capacity. I did all that speed work to become more athletic, to get in better shape. I've been doing tons of Metcon. You guys have to remember, I've done tons of Metcon. The amount you were seeing on camera is what I cut back to. I was telling people I was doing a little bit more than that. So I've built my work capacity up. I've built my athleticism up. Now I'm taking all that general physical preparedness and speed training and everything, and I'm going to turn it into specific training, which means maxes and metabolic fatigue for hypertrophy. So we're going to get as big and as strong as possible. Get thick as peanut butter, baby. Full orc mode. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.